But sometimes they're not too smart about what they decide to import. And occasionally, that ignorance can come back to bite them.
The story begins with a tourist who loves the desert. The arid air, the desolate quiet, the sturdy wildlife. While on a trip to Mexico, he discovers a rare species of cactus for sale. It's a beautiful specimen, and despite laws restricting the transport of such plants, he decides to bring it back home. He buys the exotic succulent for a hefty $200. Though he's been warned about sneaking plants across the border, there's no way some customs official is going to confiscate his exciting find. So he smuggles it into the U.S. Once in his living room, it becomes his prized possession. After some months, he gives the growing plant its usual morning spray, and to his amazement, it stirs. For a second, he thinks he's hallucinating. When he sprays it again, there's no mistaking. The plant shivers in reaction. Baffled by this, he decides to call up an expert in desert plant life to ask about what he's seen.
Hello. I was wondering if you could help me out. I recently bought
When he gets hold of a botanist, he explains how he purchased the cactus in Mexico and describes what it looks like.
Well, it's about chest high, probably 4 or 5 stalks on it.
The botanist is immediately alarmed.
I want you to get out of that house immediately.
He'll be there in 10 minutes.
Get out of the house now. I'll be there in 10 minutes.
All right.
Now totally confused, the man does what he's told. And in no time, the botanist races to the scene along with a strange utility truck. Suddenly, 2 uniformed men step out of the truck and dash into the house. The cactus owner has no idea what's going on.
Very dangerous. Bring out the cactus. We're gonna torch it.
Torch it? Whoa,
Yes, wait here.
whoa,
No,
whoa.
you wait here.
Then the 2 men rush outside with the cactus and immediately torch the plant with a flamethrower.
No!
The owner is livid and demands to know what's going on.
There's a reason we don't smuggle plants into this country.
As the cactus goes up in flames, the botanist says he's lucky to be alive. And he explains that there are reasons why officials don't allow plants to be imported without inspection. The mystery becomes clear as the flames die out. In the embers, they find that the cactus was hollow and is entirely filled with the charred remains of giant bird-eating tarantulas. These huge creatures lay their eggs in this species of cactus, where they grow to full adult size before they burst out in a shower of crawling death. It's a story with legs. But is it real? Or a paranoid fairy tale? At first glance, the story seems incredible. And if it were true, you'd think it would have originated in the American Southwest or Mexico, where the wild cactus is found in abundance. But instead, it first took root in the early 1970s in Northern Europe.
The stories are very popular in Northern Europe, Scandinavia, and in Britain and in Germany. And if it's a cactus, then it would have to be imported. So therefore, it's exotic. It's the fear of the stranger, the fear about things that are brought in from a foreign, exotic locale that is fraught with danger.
Only later did the legend reach Canada and the United States. In the story, the plant is always a cactus or a yucca plant. Some versions have the spiders hatching in the dark of night while the victim is fast asleep. Other versions feature scorpions instead of spiders, and it assumes that the audience finds such creatures especially horrifying, which isn't always the case in all cultures. The plant always quivers slightly as the first sign that something's wrong. And there's a clear reason why the story gets under our skin: the terrifying thought of being hit with a shower of creatures for which humans have evolved a primal fear. It's also why they star in another famous urban legend, the story of the woman who wakes up with a colony of newborn spiders in her hairdo. Spiders don't live in human hair, but the cactus legend claims that they live in these prickly desert plants. Well, the fact is, in today's global economy, many creatures manage to smuggle their way into the country, hiding in imported plants, spiders among them.
Well, not too long ago, we did a boat inspection on a freighter. And down in the hold, it was carrying bananas. And as we went through all these bananas, you would see spiders running around. And what they were tarantulas. And the tarantulas were actually on board because they had been feeding on insects within the banana bunches before they were cut.
And there have been at least a dozen instances over the years where large shipments of bananas have been brought into grocery stores, and inside will be a large tarantula, which of course horrifies shoppers when they see that.
So spiders can hitch a ride on a banana boat, but the legend says they were imported in a saguaro cactus.
Saguaro definitely has a reputation as a desert sentinel. They're almost like a native condominium for creatures out in the desert. A lot of animals and insects do rely on cavities within the saguaro to live out their lives. Cactuses can be host to birds that build their nest in them, and some insects that will lay eggs, and the larval stage of the insects will start the first stages of their life within a cactus.
But does this mean they can end up stuffed full of giant spiders?
Saguaro, like all other cacti, are mostly water inside. Their stems are very thick and fleshy.
Which means there's no room for a colony of monster tarantulas.
Tarantulas burrow in the ground. They do not burrow in cactus. They don't require any kind of cactus host at all. And they maintain their egg sacs in their burrow. And the egg sacs are so small anyways, it wouldn't cause that undulation, that movement that's been reported inside these cactus. It's just not their lifestyle. There's absolutely nothing to fear with bringing a cactus home, into your home or into your yard.
In the end, the account of a cactus bursting with creepy crawlies is just a horror story. So why does the legend live on?
Human beings as a species seem to need something to be afraid of. They seem to need the fear factor, if you will, in life. Life without the boogeyman just isn't fun.
In this story, a secret menace could threaten one man.
What are you guys
But
doing?
in our next legend, there's a secret that could change the world. True or false? In his youth, George Washington actually chopped down a cherry tree and then confessed to it. The answer?